Hi FileMaker, my name is Jeff Coffey and I'm here to talk to you about doing a FileMaker DevCon presentation. And I thought the best way to explain to you my qualifications as a DevCon presenter is to teach you how to deliver a fantastic DevCon presentation. Now before I get into that, I want to talk a little about my qualifications when it comes to FileMaker. I've been using FileMaker for a long time. I've helped a lot of people and I'm the author of FileMaker Pro 8, The Missing Manual, which I believe is probably the greatest book ever written in the history of mankind. I also have been a presenter at DevCon in the past, a few years ago, and I think that was a smashing success. People seemed to like it. I had a good time. And so I think that qualifies me both to present at DevCon and also to teach you how to present at DevCon. Now, before we get into the meat of this presentation, I want to get a few procedural items out of the way. First of all, please no flash photography. And also, I need to ask you to hold all of your applause until the end. Now, without further ado, let's get into it. Okay, awesome. Let's get rolling. Now the first step to a great FileMaker presentation is a great pitch. You need to pitch your topic idea to FileMaker and get it accepted. Now there are really three steps to a really good pitch. The first is to choose a good topic. It's always a good idea for your topic to be FileMaker related. That always helps get you sort of through the front door and on the way. The next thing you do, of course, is fill out the proposal database that comes with your packet. Now the proposal database is a bit of an enigma, so this is important to get right. It's a FileMaker database, which seems pretty straightforward at first blush. You go in, you begin to fill out your personal information, your biography, some information about the session that you want to present, and things like that. And then you may want to pitch perhaps a second topic. And when you go to do that, you might find that there's a button that says Add another topic. And you could think, well, that's the button I should click. And you would perhaps click that button, and then all of the information would blank out, giving you apparently a new record to fill out, but you'll quickly discover that you have no obvious means to get back to the prior topic you put in there because the status area is locked. So an important insider tip here for people who've been through this before is you go to the script maker and you find the script called unlock and you run that script and that'll open up the status area and then you can actually get to the records you've created instead of staring at only the most recently created record. That's really important. Now you fill that proposal database off and you pack that up and you send that off to FileMaker. And then the last step, and this is a great step, is to do a speaker demonstration. And this involves setting up some kind of a video recorded demonstration of your speaking and presenting skills that FileMaker can judge to ensure that you're good at this kind of thing. Now I don't know if I'm good or not. That's what I'm doing right now though, is I'm doing my speaker demonstration. So some pointers for a speaker demonstration. One, get yourself a little headset dealio like this because it makes you look official. You kind of look like an air traffic controller, but actually what you look like more is a real live FileMaker DevCon presenter because they all have these things right up there on the stage. The second thing is to turn on literally all the lights in the entire room, because if you don't have all the lights on, then your crappy little webcam that you're using to record it doesn't do a very good job. So like in this demonstration here, I've turned on basically every light. I'm practically blinded right now. But on the bright side, the picture isn't all grainy. So 3 steps to a great pitch. All right, on to the next. Okay, great. Now, the next thing I want to talk about is a really important topic. Now, assuming that your proposal that went to FileMaker, last step, remember, was accepted and they say, hey, cool, let's do it. You can do a DevCon presentation. Now your job is going to be to produce the materials necessary for your presentation. And what I'm going to teach you here, this is a little bit of an insider tip, but is really, really important because it can save you a whole lot of wasted time and energy. What you're going to get when you get accepted is you're going to get this packet of information and it's going to have this timeline of all the deadlines when you have to have certain things turned in, your biography, the photograph of you, the slideshow presentation for your actual presentation, things like that. And here's the thing, all the dates they give you, they're kind of baloney, right? It doesn't really matter. What's going to happen is you're going to miss those dates totally, completely just ignore them, and then Delphina, she's going to write you, and she's going to say, we need to get that bio from you. And you're going to say, oh, I'm going to get right on that, right? And then she's going to write you back like a week later and say, we're past the deadline now. And what you do, and this is the secret, is you wait until they sound really, really desperate. And they're like, seriously, we have to have this ASAP or we can't put the materials together. And then you have like a week. And then you can sort of take your time, make sure it's really good, you know, go to Glamour Shots and get some really good pictures of yourself, write a bio like that's awesome, hire Kurt Vonnegut to write it for you, whatever, and send it off, and it'll be totally fine because believe me, I've watched people do this and it always seems to work out okay. Just turn your stuff in late. Saves you all the trouble of doing it ahead of time. So that's super secret tip to an awesome presentation. Okay, now if you followed step 2 really carefully, then eventually, of course, the time will come when you need to actually produce that, slideshow, maybe those sample files, things like that for your presentation, the things that you're actually going to show, screenshots and so forth, while you're up there on the stage talking, as well as what you're going to say, your bullet points, and make sure you have it all planned out. And so if you followed the previous step carefully, then what you're going to do is you're going to scramble like really fast in the end, because you're going to suddenly look at your calendar and realize you have like a week to get all of this figured out. And so the good thing is, though, is they put you up in these awesome hotels, and they have nice big rooms, and they've got a table in there and stuff, so you can basically do your whole presentation right there. I mean, you'll have turned in some slides, but they don't have to actually match that closely what you're going to talk about. And so you just go to the hotel, maybe go swimming with the kids, get something to drink, wait till 10, 11 o'clock the day before your presentation, and then you can start writing. And you need to then really, really work fast and just really scramble to get it to be as good as possible. And so that scramble is important, otherwise you won't be prepared. Now, having done all the prior steps, you're in great shape to deliver a fantastic presentation. And this is really the sweet spot. I mean, this is where it gets to be really fun. You get up there on the stage, the adrenaline starts pumping, you see all those people out there in the audience. Hopefully you don't pass out, but assuming you bypass that eventuality, you get it kind of excited. It's kind of fun. It's a lot of fun to have people looking at you. And so when you get up to do that presentation, a lot of things just come naturally. But I do want to talk about a few key pointers to help you deliver a really awesome presentation. Now, step number 1 is people don't like to be shouted at, so you want to kind of talk really low like this. You can kind of put your head down sort of in your collar like this, and you want to kind of sort of mumble a little bit, and it helps if you convey the image that you're scared to death. And then what that'll do is that'll encourage everybody in the audience, those hundreds of people, to really move forward and get close so that they can kind of get the vibe you're putting off while you deliver your presentation. It really makes things go more smoothly. Now, number 2, and this is important because I see a lot of people violate this one. Number 2 is you don't want to screw this up, right? You don't want to sort of get up there and act like an idiot. So what you can do is you can literally write down every single solitary thing you are going to say and put it into a PowerPoint presentation and project it on the big screen behind me. And then you can sort of turn around sort of halfway like this and look up at the slideshow, and then you just read it to them. You just read it right off the screen. That way you're convinced you're not going to mess up, say something that's not true. Heaven forbid you tell them that, FileMaker fields can only hold 2K of data, and that's not right, and then you feel like an idiot, and that gets indemnified in some CD-ROM somewhere, and it ruins your career completely. So to avoid that eventuality, seriously, just read it right off. People love that. They know that they're not missing anything because they get your slides later on, and they can just read them, and they know they got exactly what you told them. So it's like a contract with your listener to tell them everything I'm giving you, you can get it all again later. Now, another thing that I think is a really good insider tip for doing a great presentation is you're going to have sort of sample files and things like this, and people like to get those things. What you can do to really sort of lead people on a little bit is you can put samples on the CD that don't work very well, and then demonstrate better, cooler things during your presentation, and then promise everybody that you're going to update the samples later on and put them up on a website somewhere, and then you don't do it. And the awesome thing is you can do this little game where you see how long it takes before people stop asking. And sometimes it's like 18 months before people finally say, okay, I've given up. They're not actually going to do it. So those things really help to set you apart from the norm at DevCon, make people really realize that you're one of the top-notch presenters. Once you do all these things, you're done. You've had a great presentation. You're a great success. Hopefully, the world thinks you're awesome. You get like great contracts from clients, or you get a promotion at work or whatever, and basically, you just enjoy the fame. Thank you so much for this opportunity to present to you, and I hope that this has helped you to be a better DevCon presenter.